All right, so we're going to do adding and subtracting notes. The reason we're doing adding and subtracting notes, we're going to do adding and subtracting integers is because a lot of times when students are adding and subtracting, they like to do that part in their head. And so we want to do it really quickly in your head, and then y'all be getting them wrong. So to prevent that, we're going to go through it to make sure that we remember how to add and subtract positive and negative numbers. Now, y'all did do this yesterday, but everybody didn't, okay? All right, so you should have your notes in front of you. If you do not have notes, then you should be writing on a sheet of paper. All right, so adding and subtracting integers. First of all, you need to know what the integer is. The integer, does anybody know what an integer is? An integer, or integers are positive and negative whole numbers. Okay. So positive and negative whole numbers. Give me an example of that. -3 is an example. What's another example? +5. Give me 2 more examples. -10. 6. Would 0 be an example? No, because it's not positive or negative. Okay. So it'd be a positive and negative whole number. All right. Adding integers. So to add integers, if adding 2 integers with the same sign, so you have 2 positives or 2 negatives, same sign, then you add the 2 numbers and keep the sign. So if you're adding 2 integers with the same number, with the same sign, you add them together and keep the sign. So if you have 2 positives, add them together, keep the sign. If you have 2 negatives, add them together, keep the sign. Okay? If you are adding 2 integers with different, I didn't even respect for the word different. Okay? With different signs, so you have a positive and a negative, then you will subtract the 2 numbers and keep the sign of the bigger number. Okay. So the first part y'all used to doing, if you're adding 2 numbers with the same sign, you add them together, keep the sign. If you're adding the numbers with 2 different signs, you subtract the numbers, but keep the sign of the bigger number. Okay. So then we have 4 examples right here. So I have -5 plus -3. Is this the first example or the second example? First example, they have the same sign. So what am I supposed to do to them? Add them and what? Keep the sign. So what would be my answer? -8. Okay. What about the next one? Would that be an example of the first one or the second one? That is the second one. Will my answer be positive or negative on this? Negative, because my 3 is bigger. And what will be my answer? 1. Remember, I subtract. If my signs are different, I subtract them. Okay? So 3 times -2, 1. So my answer had to be negative because the 3 was bigger. Okay? My next one, is that example of the first one or the second one? Second one. Is my answer going to be positive or negative? Positive. What is my answer? +1. My last example, is that example the first one or the second one? The first one, is my answer going to be positive or negative? Negative, and what will it be? Negative 11. Okay. All right, so y'all didn't do that bad with these. It was when we started to subtract, okay, especially with negatives. All right, so when we subtract integers, we're going to talk about that next. All right. And for the people that are watching, I'm recording this, so I'll send it to you once it's done recording if you need to pause it. Okay, when subtracting two integers, you're going to use the keep, change first. So I'm explaining that. You're going to use keep, change first, okay? And then I never heard of this song, but it was cute, so I'll put it on here, okay? So when subtracting two integers, you use keep, change first. After you use keep, change, then use this song. Same song, add the numbers. I don't know the okay? Same song, add the numbers, different signs, subtract. Take the sign of the bigger number, then you'll be exact. I just feel like that's how it comes out. Right? But even if you don't use that sound, make sure that you do keep, change. Okay, so let's practice that. Okay, so look at this example here. They did it all the way out for you, but I'm gonna write it out too. So they had one minus negative 2. So you keep, change. Remember I talked about that yesterday? I just didn't use the word keep, change, okay? So now it says 1 plus 2, and you know 1 plus 2 equals 3, okay? So once you do keep, change, you can do what you did for adding because you're going to change it to addition, okay? So looking at this one, keep, change. I'll put the same one. Okay. Try this one without me first. Try that one without me first. Do keep, change, and then see which addition thing you need to do. Keep, change. So you should have had 2 plus positive 4, right? So that's what he gave me. Okay. That's simple. Keep, change. Let's look at this one. So I'm going to have positive 5. Because I kept it. Change it to plus. And now my 6 is negative. So what would the answer be to that one? -1. Because the signs are different, so I subtract them. The signs are different, so I subtract them. And my bigger number is negative, so my answer is negative. Okay, let's do this last example over here. We're going to keep, change. So what will my answer be to that one? -5, because both signs are the same. So I add them together and I keep the sign. Okay. And then on the back of it, on the back of this worksheet, it just has it in a table form. It says if you add 2, you should get a positive. If you have 2 negatives, you should have a negative. If you have a bigger positive, then your answer should be positive. If you have a bigger negative, then your answer should be negative. And remember, for subtraction, once you do keep, change, you really are doing addition. Okay? All right.